Hi, today I would like to talk about something that I wish more people would actually share online. And this is what it's really like starting your own business. And I've started my own business roughly 3 months ago, and I will share everything that I've learned. And I think there's a lot of value in getting advice from people who are only like a few steps ahead of you. Of course, there's also value in learning from people who are really senior, but they might also have some hindsight bias. They might not know the softwares that are budget friendly for a smaller budget. So I think both have its value. And for me, spoiler alert, it was actually a lot easier than I anticipated, but there were also a lot of exhausting things that I did not anticipate at all. So I'm very confident that this video might save you time, energy, and money. So the first thing that I learned is that your network is your most important asset. And I was one of those people who thought that they didn't have a network. I had a lot of people who I liked to work with, lots of external collaborators, and so on, but I didn't think of them as my network. And then when I was still having my old job, I was just telling people, listen, I'm starting my own business, so this might be the last meeting that we see each other. And several of them were like, wow, I would like to work with you. And this is where I got my first customers from. So if you're one of those people who think that they don't have a network, then think again, because usually we think of a network as people that we meet at networking events where it is a little bit cumbersome to keep their contact and so on. And those people might also be your network, but those colleagues that you are having a coffee chat with, they are also your network. And the people that you just like hanging out with, they are also your network. And this is going to be the most valuable asset. And once I learned that the network is one of the most important assets, I also joined a female business network that I am paying for. My network that I am in is called Nushu, but it's only a German-speaking network. But I'm sure that there's also a network for you that is your target group. I have a video on how to identify your target group. And once you have identified your target group, you can join those networks, and so many of them might be your customers. And also from the Nushu network that I am in, I have realized that there are a few valuable leads. So every business meeting that I've been to has so far been valuable. Like, I am more of a digital person. I prefer to be on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on X, but I have realized an offline network is the most important asset. And this already brings me to the next part, which is that billable hours are a lot longer than you think. This is, I don't want to say a small mistake, but something that I did not anticipate at all, is that I was lucky enough to get enough customers and enough billable hours so that I could make a living from my business from day one. But at the same time, I realized that, let's say 4 hours, working 4 hours for a client means working 6 hours total. Because what you don't anticipate with billable hours is also that you're making yourself a coffee, that you're taking small breaks, and so on. So I was actually very surprised about the workload that I was having, because I thought I could spend a lot more time on growing my own business whilst working 25, 30 hours per week. But it turns out that 25 or 30 hours per week in your own business are a lot longer than 25 to 30 hours when you're working in corporate. Okay, another part. Bureaucracy will drain your soul, but it will also get better. When I started, and probably when everyone starts, they are super motivated. Then they hit the bureaucratic system, and it's really bad in Germany. I don't know how it is in other countries. And I was very much under pressure because I knew I already had customers. For instance, you have to be able to only write electronic invoices. In order to get a software to write electronic invoices, you need a business bank account. In order to have a business bank account, you need some number from the financial office. In order to do that, you need to fill out a form, and in order to be able to fill out the form, you need to get a different number, and blah, 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 blah. It is taking forever, and the waiting is really the most exhausting and draining thing ever. It is not the actual work that you have to do in bureaucracy. This is just filling out a few forms and you will be fine. It is not very complicated, so don't worry about it. And this is also one of the things that I would like to give as a take-home message, that those things are easy. They are just taking some time. But likely you will not get it wrong. And if you're getting it wrong, you can always call someone at an office. And luckily in Germany, we are allowed to already work for customers. Even if we didn't do the entire thing, we're just not allowed to write bills then. Also, very importantly, you're not lazy, you're human. When I was working in corporate, I had a very good work-life balance. I could just stop thinking about work. And this has changed when I started my own business. And probably this is something that happens to everyone, but still it is important to know about it, because there is some switch that happens in your mind when you realize that every hour and every minute that you are spending can turn into money. So suddenly I started to think, shall I go to the hairdresser or shall I work? Shall I blow dry my hair or shall I let it air dry, because I could also be working in this time? This is really exhausting and something that I needed to learn, because when I was starting, I was like, yay, I will spend my time either working and making money, or I will be spending my time really enjoying myself and only spending quality time and nothing in between. But there are things in between, like for instance, blow drying your hair, and you don't realize how important they also are for your mental health. And very importantly, your mental and physical health is one of the most important assets in your business, because if you're not healthy, your business will also not be healthy. So make sure to take good care of yourself. Also, accounting and all of the legal regulations are a lot less difficult than you think. I was extremely scared of accounting because everyone presents it like this rocket science where you can do so many things wrong. But it turns out if you have good software, then this is actually very easy. For instance, I don't know how it is in other countries. In Germany, you have to do a monthly VAT declaration. And I thought this was going to be terrible. And I blocked out like half an afternoon or something, or even more for that. And it turns out with the software that I'm using, which is LexOffice, but there's also other softwares like Safdesk or something. This is really just if you are photographing the invoices immediately when you get them and add them into the software. It literally took me 5 minutes to get this done. And I was so baffled how easy it is and how intimidated I was by it. I have a different friend who also was thinking to start her own business, but she was so scared of all of the data privacy regulations. And also this is something where I thought, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to know about data privacy? But it turns out that all of the companies that you're working with, like for instance, Microsoft, all of the other softwares also have an interest to be compliant with GDPR, or in the US with HIPAA. They have already done all of the thinking for you. So the only thing that you have to check is in their FAQs or wherever, whether they say that they are GDPR compliant. And most of them are, because they're making an effort to be, because otherwise it would be hurting their business. So something where I thought I have to read about this like 2 days or consult a lawyer turned out to be extremely simple and just a matter of Googling a little bit. So this is also, by the way, a great opportunity. If you have some small tips that you feel was so helpful for you, then maybe also put them in the comments and let's create like this supportive community. I would be very happy about that. And my last advice is that ChatGPT is your best friend. You probably already thought that, but I did not anticipate how much I'm using ChatGPT in everyday life. Like for instance, also the script for this video. I was giving an outline and knew what I wanted to say, but ChatGPT helped me to put it into like a cohesive video script, and it has saved me probably 45 minutes or something. So make sure to also get the pro version, or what is it called? The plus version. I'm spending like roughly 20 euros per month, and those were 20 euros that were very well spent. Once again, some of the best spent 20 euros that I've ever done. So maybe just quickly in summary, I told you several times today that is money that was very well spent, and this was on the one hand on a offline network, on a good accounting software, and on ChatGPT. Those were the biggest game changers that are saving me a lot of time and are also creating new leads for my business. And if this video was helpful for you, please give it a like. This helps me a lot with the algorithm. And comment below if you have some great business tips, or also if you just started, what is your business in? Maybe there are some people that you can collaborate with. And of course, also follow, because as I said already, I will be growing this YouTube channel with a lot of helpful advice. On the one hand, for how to grow your business in general. And also, I didn't even say this yet, I am a healthcare marketing consultant, so there will also be several videos on that. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.